Isn't that where Rada al-Saran harvested souls for the Dark Heart? If Verandis released them all, maybe Arana's right and she didn't come back alone. That's something we should see for ourselves. You go on ahead. Ben and Gwendis could use a moment. I'll make sure they make it to Markarth safely.
Just go, please.
I hope you're right. If Father managed to undo some of the harm the Grey Host caused, I know he'd be at peace with himself.
Even exiles deserve a better fate than that.
I was hoping to catch up. You hear that? Markarth is celebrating. That magnificent bastard really did it. He brought them back. The Count enjoyed his mysteries, but yeah, I think so. When we started this, I thought the best we could do is pay al-Saran back for the lives he stole. Guess I should have set my sights higher. We rest. With Rada al-Saran dead, the Grey Host is finally buried for good. We couldn't have done it without you, partner. So eat, drink, find some company for your bed. Tomorrow, we'll probably have to do this all over again. It may seem odd coming from a Nord, but I'm glad to see all these Reach folk alive and well. They seem content, but I'm sure they wouldn't mind us bringing them a few more reasons to celebrate. News of Rada al-Saran's death won't compare to the dead returning to life, but I'm sure Kadik will be relieved to hear it. You find the Ard and let him know there's nothing to fear from the Grey Host anymore. Tell him he has Verandis to thank. Why spoil the mood? I think I'm going to take a moment. I haven't done that since Fenorian and I arrived in the Reach. Just fine. Even the great Lyris Titanborn needs a rest sometimes. Don't tell anyone.
Believe it! There's life to the keep again! Ha! That's your doing, isn't it? The Ard seems to think so. He'll want to see you. He's holding an audience in his war room right now.
What's this about a war room?
Ah, you're here too, Titanborn. You come with me. I have a message for your ears alone.
Fine. But if this is Kadik's idea of a joke, you won't find it funny.
we are agreed. If Eastern and Western Skyrim can put aside their differences in the face of the Grey Host, then the Reach can do so as well. Come forward, Freehand. No need to bow for the sake of kings.
We may be a divided nation, but in our heart we're all Nords. I have faith that one day Skyrim will be whole once more. This business with the Grey Host is far from over. As long as Skyrim is threatened, I will be close by to lend a hand. The Reach is far from everyone's holdings. This Grey Host business started with me, though, and I always intended to see it through to the end. Thankfully, we prevailed this time. I do. She's an impressive young woman. Is Western Skyrim ready for Svanna? That's the more pertinent question. Solitude shuns the outside world, while Svanna reaches for it. We'll have to see how that works out in the end.
Thank the gods we have better matters to attend to the deployment of troops and suspicions of treachery. For a man called Despot, the Ard is in an agreeable mood. But that's not your concern. It's good to see you once more. Truthfully, Svanna, when we learned that Markarth suffered an attack like the one you narrowly prevented in Solitude, she insisted that we offer aid, ostensibly to stop the Grey Host. But it seems we're a bit late for that. No doubt, they have proved very skilled at keeping to the shadows and biding their time. Hunting them down will not be easy, but I feel that's not how best to make use of the opportunity we've been given. The Grey Host's greatest weapon against us was our mutual mistrust. They preyed on our suspicions and fears, used our division to pick us apart one by one. The best way to prevent that from happening again will be to build trust and cooperation. An accord at least. It's a step in the right direction. Trust takes time to build, but we must start somewhere. I couldn't have done it without Svanna. Svanna. Watching her put aside past differences between Eastern and Western Skyrim for the sake of her people has made quite an impression on me. Well, yes, I do. She's a striking woman. A figure. Leader. Yeah. She's won many hearts and minds in the short time she's been a Jarl. I think that speaks more to her esteem than my praise. Western Skyrim would do well to put her in charge.
You seem more comfortable standing among kings and jarls than I do. Then again, you always did. It's good to see you again. Western Skyrim has begun to recover. With Fenn's elixir, our soldiers have been able to push back the Grey Host. I know the Reach has not been so fortunate. I persuaded Prince Ernskar and the Skald King to offer our support. I expected we'd be sending soldiers, but by the time we arrived, the people were dancing in the streets. I always heard stories of the City of Stone being a dark place where flint-hearted Reachmen worship strange gods. It's not so different from home. The people seem happier than I've ever seen, in spite of all our hardships. I wasn't the only one living under my father's shadow, apparently. I can't come and go as I please, but the Blue Palace is lively as any tavern with Mog around. Made him my royal taster. I don't think the thought of being poisoned even crossed his mind, but he seems happy so long as the food and drink keeps coming. Unofficially, he's also the jester, but don't tell him I said so.
If you'd said only yesterday I'd play host to Nord rulers from across all Skyrim, I'd have told you the dead would live again before that happened. And here we are. A day of miracles! Tell me truthful, you had a hand in all this, eh? At last, the monster that nearly brought my lands to ruin has paid the price for his wrongs. I could ask no more, and yet that which was taken has been returned as well. Where is Count Ravenwatch? if he thinks to escape my gratitude. Then his name and deeds will echo these halls for as long as I sit upon the throne, which'll be a while yet, thanks to you both, and so long as these Nords are good to their word. I've no idea what peace is like, but I'm eager to find out. We treat for peace. Our battles with the Grey Host have ravaged all our kingdoms and peoples. We each seek to rebuild and recover. Perhaps we'll do so together. At least we'll keep out of each other's way. Before we proclaim, I have a favor to ask. I've need of a counselor. In spite of her treachery, Lady Belaine was a canny advisor. I need that again now, more than ever. Tell the witch, Arana, that I will offer her my ear, if she will share her wisdom. I hear she's recently arrived to my keep. Aye, I suppose so. Can't just lop off her head after she got it back. Wouldn't do for morale. Unless she's determined to keep up her fight with me. I'm willing to put the past to rest. Besides, I already made peace with the rest of her rebels.
My ears are burning. Is that my name on the wind? Not even this gloomy old stone keep can dampen my spirits. My dreams hold true. Markarth is alive with joy. But you didn't approach to listen to me. What is it you wanted? I'm barely foot to stone and he's clamoring for my attention. I had no mind to stand by a throne when I first started my journey. Now, here we are. The Reach has suffered so much. I want to help restore the land. Aye, I'll serve. I can speak for myself. You have more important matters to attend to. There's a friend who's journeyed a long way to thank you personally for all you've done. 'Twould be rude to keep him waiting. There's an out-of-the-way chamber in the rear of the keep where you can meet. Now, I should find the Ard and make sure he thinks before he speaks.
Sorry to have kept you waiting, my friend. Do forgive my ghastly appearance. It seems I spoke too soon when I bade you a final farewell. I'm glad to have the opportunity to see you again, my friend. None of this would have been possible without you. As did I. When I took hold of the Darkstorm's power, I believed it would be the last thing I ever did. It was a force no mortal hands should wield. With it, I was able to draw the souls out of the Dark Heart, return them to where they belonged. No, as the last of the Dark Heart's power ebbed away, I should have been trapped in Rada's sanctuary realm. But I was forced out. Pushed, I'd say. I fell into the darkness of the slumbering heart. Then I emerged from it, like a moth from a cocoon. My soul became part of the Dark Heart, smelted inextricably into the fabric of its existence. So long as it remains dormant, its hold over me is tolerable. But I am bound to it nonetheless. If I am to be wed to this power, then I must ensure that it never gets used again. For that to happen, both the heart and I must fade into obscurity. House Ravenwatch will carry on without me. Arana will send them here to receive the news soon. I have no regrets. You gave me the opportunity to reckon with my past and pay penance. This journey has brought closure to the life of Count Verandis Ravenwatch. I have a fresh start. As do we all. The kings are soon to speak. You should be there. I have no idea what the future holds, but you seem to be the axis upon which this world turns. If it still has some use for me, I'm sure our paths will cross again. Until then, my friend.
Arana said they'd be this way. Come on.
Father!
They said you were gone.
I was, and I will be again. We have much to discuss, but I will not be returning to House Ravenwatch.
But who will...
You three have no more need of a guardian. It's time I put the future of the Ravenwatch in your hands.
But you'll still visit, right?
Every chance I get.